Minasan, konnichiwa, Zamurai Engineer desu. In this module number 12, part 4 of the series of modules about NFPA101, so we'll specifically explain something about floor penetration requirement. So starting with the objective of the code to minimize danger to life from fire, smoke, heat, and toxic gases. Provides mission continuity and property protection in both new construction and existing buildings. So features of fire protection, number 12, vertical opening, and we are going to discuss the second subtopic, floor penetrations. So already discussed the principles and concept behind why we need those minimum amount of floor or vertical openings, because smoke, toxic gases would seep in to another area, okay, or the next area, the adjacent area, which may add to the risk of those occupants not in direct vicinity with the incidence of fire. Okay, so the fire breaks out here, and the next room should be safer. Okay, on the next floor should be safer. Okay, because smoke and toxic gas will go up, also the heat will go up. So every byproduct of fire will go through and passes with the openings. So just because according to the data, these openings statistically added substantial amount of fatalities, okay, to the result of fire incidents, okay, in previous in the historical counts. Okay, so floor penetrations, vertical opening. We have exemptions to that requirement that our vertical openings must all be sealed off, must have protective barrier, firewall barrier, okay, that is on the same fire rating capacity as the exit, okay, passageway or exit stairs. So there are continuity exemptions to that. Okay. Subsection 8.6.3 outlines the exemptions for the specific types of penetration. So we have here in your picture what shop for pipes and utilities. We have pipes again here and ducting that create or necessitates opening of floor. So that those are vertical openings. As you can see, there are what materials that are installed to seal up those gaps. Okay, so also here we can have what cover to this opening, and therefore we have what wall. Okay, those are given to have, expected to have a fire rating equivalent to the fire barrier wall. Okay. So exemptions. The requirements of 8.6.2 shall not apply where otherwise permitted by any of the following. So number one, were penetrations for cables. Okay, so cables, that is electrical, cable trays, electrical, conduits, electrical. It could also be electronics, pipes. So it is either plumbing or mechanical. Tubes, that is mechanical. Combustion vents, that is mechanical, and exhaust vents. Okay. Exhaust vents, that is plumbing. Wires, that is either electronics or electrical. Pneumatic tube, that is mechanical. Pneumatic tube conveyor. Okay. Pneumatic tube conveyor to send material, send product from upper floors going down. Or if you are using vacuum, you can send the product from lower portion of the building. So these are being done. And similar items to accommodate electrical, mechanical, plumbing, and communication system. So communication, these are the electronics devices, okay, and systems are protected in accordance with 8.3.4.2 and 8.5.6. Okay, so these penetrations, okay, are exempted. They are permitted to be applied, to be used, if they are protected in accordance with 8.3.4.2 and 8.5.6. So again, if you read the provision of written on this subsection and section, the requirement is almost similar with the requirement for vertical opening. So almost the same. So really, it is an exemption, but could only be meaningful exemption for existing building, because the requirement of this code is almost the same for this protected subsection, okay, requirement of the code to the vertical opening requirement, almost the same for new. So again, number 2 were specified by this specific sections: 8.6.6, 8.6.7, 8.6.8, 8.6.9, 8.1, 8.6.9.2, 8.6.9.3, or chapters 11 through 43. So those chapters are occupancy chapters. There might be specific requirements that allow something, and therefore it is permitted here due to that special provision. Okay? So number 3, where escalators and moving walks are protected in accordance with 8.6.9. So moving walks, escalator, okay. Moving walks are usually horizontal, escalators are therefore diagonal, and moving walks are usually called walkalator. Okay. Number 4, where expansion or seismic joints are designed to prevent the penetration of fire, are shown to have a fire resistance rating of not less than that required for the floor when tested in accordance with ANSI or UL 2079 standard for test for fire resistance of building joint systems. Okay, so if that expansion joints satisfies or pass the testing, okay, for the determination of fire resistance rating of a value not less than required for the floor. Okay. So fire rating of the floor, and you test the expansion joint. If that is the same or more than the fire rating of the floor, then it is a permission. It is permitted as an exception. Okay. And number 5, where existing male shoots, okay, male shoots meet one of the following criteria. Male shoots also a shaft for male going up and down of the building. Okay. Meet one of the following criteria. The cross-sectional area does not exceed 0.01 square meter. Okay, 0.01 square meter, that is what? 0.1 times 0.1. 0.1 times 0.1 is 0.01 square meter. 0.1 meter is what? 100 mm. So 100 mm is 4 inches, like this. So 100 mm is like this. Okay, 4 inches. So male shoots as big as this is 0.01 square meter. So that is the cross-sectional area, or less than that, it is permitted, okay, to be an exemption. And letter B, the building is protected throughout by an approved automatic sprinkler system in accordance with section 9.7. So the building is with ASS that satisfies the condition of section 9.7. Then ASS would allow these things to be permitted. Okay. That is for what? Existing male shoots or existing male shoots. When there is an automatic sprinkler system, bigger cross-sectional area of the male shoots are allowed or permitted. Okay. So 8.6.5 required fire resistance rating. The minimum fire resistance rating for the enclosure of floor openings, okay, this now, the requirement shall be as follows. Number 1, enclosures connecting 4 or more stories in new construction, 2 hours. Okay. If you are connecting 4 floors, okay, or more, so 4 floors or more, so 2 hours fire barrier. And number 2, other enclosures in new construction, 1 hour fire barrier. So new construction, everyone 1 hour. But if you are connecting 4 stories or more, 2 hours. Number 3, existing, meaning 1 hour is 1 floor to 3 floors, 1 to 3 stories. Okay, so 4 stories or more, 2 hours. So existing enclosure, number 3, in existing buildings, 1/2 hour per barrier. There are existing. So that's why I said a while ago that meaningful exemptions only for existing building for all one, because they already passed the design and approval of the fire protection features. So they will just be exempted. Okay. And number 4, enclosures for lodging and room houses. Okay. Enclosures for new hotels, enclosures for new apartment buildings are specified in their corresponding occupancy chapters. Okay, 26, 28, and 30. So there are specifics about lodging and rooming houses, okay, hotels, and apartment buildings, which are new. Okay, so therefore we can memorize it that 2 hours for 4-story and above, 1 hour for 3-story below, and 1/2 hour for existing buildings. Okay, so those are the requirements. And what about other floor openings? There are several examples of those openings here. Illustrated here are not affected by the requirements applicable to exit, but do, if not properly enclosed, create unprotected vertical openings. So, the requirements, typical floor openings that are not properly enclosed might spread the effects of fire. It will add to the spread of fire, but they are not affected by requirements. Okay. Anyway, this is for the decision of the owner of the building and the designer. Okay? If they want safer place, okay, although it is not entirely required by the code. What are those? It's box, shop, elevators, telephone, electrical. So those are the shops. Let's back elevators or mechanical shop, telephone, electronic shop, and electrical shop. Okay, and fire protection shop. Fire protection shop, fire exit. Okay, fire exit. So expansion or seismic joint here. This is civil engineering or structural engineering. Civil or structural. And convenience stair. So you'll notice there's no wall barrier in convenience stair, but we have wall barrier for these exit stairs. We have wall barriers for mechanical, electronics, and electrical. We do have fire barrier. Look at the color, it is red. So there is a fire barrier protecting the expansion joint using barrier walls. Okay? So those are some other types of vertical opening. So based on lesson learned from Las Vegas environmental fire of 1988 edition of code, expanded the list of floor openings to include expansion joint, seismic joints that allow structural movement. In lieu of full enclosure from floor to floor, specifically recognizes the use of fire protection, rated expansion or seismic joints with a minimum rating of not less than the required fire resistance rating of the floor. Minimum fire rating should be the same as fire rating on the floor. So that is about what? 2 hours. Okay. Without appropriately rated joints, the enclosure requirements might be satisfied by an arrangement of walls and doors as shown in the picture. Okay. Arrange the walls and doors, okay, like this. Okay. The seismic joint, we have the enclosing barriers here together with the door. Okay, exit. So we have seismic. So nice. It's nice. It's a nice design. We have what? A lobby that could be used as a passageway. But still, we have what? Door that is fire rated. Okay, because we have seismic joint. Okay, so we need to design even the seismic joint to be placed specifically at those areas, if ever possible. So it depends on the design. Okay. So back-to-back fire resistance rated barriers and cross corridor fire protection rated doors. So these are called fire protection rated doors assemblies. Accomplish the enclosure of seismic joint running horizontally across the building and vertically through all the floors. Okay. So it's really becoming harder and harder to satisfy the code, but it is the code which gives us what? Safer and safer provision, because it tackles, it incorporates those instances documented in historical past. Okay? Those problems that are documented in historical past, they tackle how to counter those, and therefore the provision in the code could become what? Updated, becoming safer and safer by the years. Okay? Again, that's all for this video. This is Dr. DrEYPEI, preaching engineering for nation building.